everybody. Thanks for joining us on the South Australian Sports Show. Plenty to come on the show. Faye Luke, Bowles team manager of the Australian team. She'll join us. Nick Mercer, general manager, CEO of the Masters Games. He's dropping in. Juliet Haslam, of course, Olympic gold medalist, one of the darlings of South Australia. She's in for a chat. Olympics not too far away. Max O'Connell's in for a chat. We'll look forward to chatting with Max. Plenty to talk about with him. And Ian Knight, special guest, coming in to talk about uniform sublimation. And we'll get his footy tips as well while he's here. Rob Popplestone, of course, always joins me.
Boo! Can you believe the last 2 weeks? Can you believe the last 2 weeks, the amount of controversy that started simply by booing a player? Now, look, whichever way you fall here, you're going to be controversial. But my take on the whole thing is that if you're booing Adam Goodes with no racial intent, I've got no problem with you at all. If you're booing because you have got some racial hurdles that you need to get over, you've got no support from me, move it on. But if you don't like him and you're booing, then boo louder. I don't see a problem with it. And if you like a player and you want to cheer for him, then cheer louder. I don't want to go to a game where everyone's just clapping politely when something good happens, and when something bad happens, you've got to have villains and you've got to have heroes in sport. And at the moment, Goodes is seen as a villain. And if it's a sporting villain, I've got no problem with it, Phil. Look, anyway, how you going? All right?
Good, Poppy. Thanks. And boo to you too. I don't want to labour on it because I'm really over it.
I'm so tired.
I'll come back to these 2 points.
Okay.
If it's racist, there's 71 Indigenous players currently playing in the AFL.
Yes.
There's only one bloke getting booed. So it doesn't strike me as racist. Now, it's easy for us to say because we're white. He's dark.
But we're all Australian. I don't get it.
I'm just saying that point makes me wonder. The one that bothers me the most is I haven't heard Adam Goodes say anything.
Well,
so right now it's a media beat-up. It's lots of fantastic the way the AFL have galvanised around it. All those things are all pluses. But I want to hear what Adam's got to say.
But you know what I've got upset from, and I haven't booed or cheered, so I'm neither here nor there. But what I haven't liked is the bullying that Goodes, to a certain degree, certainly the AFL, now the AFL Players Association, saying if you boo, you're racist. Well, don't tell me why I'm booing. You don't know why I'm booing. Only I know what I'm booing. So, one, you're just calling me a racist, and two, even though I know why I'm booing, you're saying I'm a liar as well. Come on. In the end,
I agree with you. If you're booing because you're racist, you've got some issues that you need to get resolved. If you're just booing because you don't like him, then that's part of the game. Paddy Ryder got booed last week, the week before against
I may not like you next week, and if I want to boo, I'll boo.
OK, well, you're coming to boo. Let's talk about the Crows in Sydney, of course. 52-point loss to Sydney. Did you think... I mean, Adam Goodes didn't play.
I thought the Crows were a silly chance. I've got to say, I thought the Crows were a silly chance on the back of Sydney being disappointing the last fortnight. I just thought they had wobbly wheels. But you know what? Probably the controversy really galvanised them as a team, and they hit the contest like you'd expect Sydney to hit the contest. Hadn't seen that for a little while. All of a sudden, there's a question mark over the Adelaide Crows. I thought they were certainly to make the 8. I checked the paper. They've dropped down to 9th. And all of a sudden, I think she's going to go right down to the wire, Phil. It may.
We'll have a look at that in a minute.
Yep.
Sydney's pressure in the first quarter, as
sensational.
Good as you've seen from any team this year?
Yeah, in fact, it's what's made Sydney so good for a long period of time, that pressure. But their midfield just absolutely walked through ours, and the game was over. The game was over. And Adelaide have got themselves in positions like that against average teams. You can't get yourself in a position like that against a good team. There's no coming back. Well, not normally.
All right, I want to ask you about 2 players, Jetta and Betts. You're a coach. You can pick Jetta or Betts as your small forward. Who's your pick?
Look, I think I like Betsy. Probably Jetta's got more upside given his age, you know, and he's probably got a bit more flexibility positional-wise. But Betsy's been pretty good. I think Betsy's had I think he'd be pretty pleased with what he's achieved. In saying that, I'd rather be an average player on a good side than a good player on a bad side. And at the moment, Sydney are the better side.
All right, I want to ask you about this. The game that was called off after Phil Walsh's tragic loss, of course, was Adelaide v Geelong.
It was.
They decided to call it a draw and both teams got 2 points
each.
Now, I've had a quick look. You know I like to crunch the numbers, look at teams. So I'm just going to ask you this. This is the Crows' run home. And the reason I say this is a funny twist in the end. The Crows are sitting in 9th spot.
Yes.
Geelong are sitting in 8th spot.
It's just percentage, the difference.
That's exactly right. Okay. The Crows play Richmond on Friday night.
They can't. I'm barrack for the Tigers. They won't beat the Tigers.
They get a loss. All right. Then they've got Essendon at Etihad next Saturday.
Give them a win.
Give them a win.
Yep.
Then they've got Brisbane.
Oh, they'll beat them.
All right. Got West Coast at Adelaide Oval.
I'd say no.
No. All right. Then they've got Geelong, last game of the season at Skilled Stadium.
You'd have to almost say line ball.
All right, well, hold on to that. Okay, now Geelong, of course, who we're saying.
Yes,
Geelong plays Sydney this week at Skilled Stadium.
You'd say No.
No? All right. Then they play Hawthorn at the MCG.
No.
All right. Then they've got...
Looking good so far.
Then they've got St Kilda
Oh, okay.
at Etihad.
Yeah, no, they can beat St Kilda.
They can win that one. All right. Then they've got Collingwood at the MCG.
Oh, anyone's beating Collingwood. That'd be a good game, Brisbane and Collingwood.
Okay, so we agree at the end that...
Oh, it's going to go down to the wire.
There you have it. Geelong and Adelaide are going to meet at 2 games and 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses each, to decide which team goes into
What happens
the
if they draw last game? Percentage.
Percentage, which would get Geelong in at this stage.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be a tight finish, isn't it?
It's just an unusual set of circumstances that game now could have been the difference. So had they played, obviously the circumstances were different, Phil was still there, and one of the ones, this game may not come.
Now, I don't like asking without us setting this up, but you've done Adelaide. Have you done Port Adelaide?
Port Adelaide, now, I can tell you who Port played.
Yes.
And we'll get back to them, but they play Western Bulldogs at Etihad Stadium.
Wow, gee, okay. Well, they have to keep winning, don't they?
They do.
Okay, so let's say they win that one.
All right, then they've got the GWS at Adelaide
They can win that one.
All right, they've got Hawthorn at Etihad.
They can't win that one, can they?
No, then they've got Gold Coast at Metricon.
They can win that one.
Yep, and then they've got Freo at Adelaide Oval.
So they have to beat Hawthorn really, and the rest are okay.
So it's not without the realms of possibility that they could get there. Just quickly, because we've only got a minute to go. Mick Fanning, of course, unbelievable.
He's almost South Australian-like, isn't he?
I know we normally talk about the South Australians, but I want to ask you this. His best mate, Julian Wilson,
yes,
as the Sharks attacking him, sees it
yes,
and then heads towards him to try and help.
How courageous is that?
Would you do that? If you were in the water and your best mate's on a surfboard getting attacked by a white pointer shark, are you making an effort to go over there, or are you going...
I'd be on the shore, sitting down. No, I'd be screaming really loud from the shore. No, I would be. What, are you serious?
Yeah, I just think it's kind of been brushed over. This guy has showed...
So say, for instance, you're on one board, right? You've been attacked by a shark. I'm on the other board, 50 metres away, right? I'm going like this as fast as I can, saying, get Phil, help.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Sometimes there's some courageous things that happen in sport and we miss it. It kind of got touched on, but I'm thinking this guy was prepared to risk his life to try and help a mate out, and I just reckon it was pretty impressive.
Do you want to go surfing this weekend?
Not with you, that's for sure. All right, we've got to get to a break. Stay with us. Our first guest, Faye Luke, the National Bowls team manager, will join us shortly. Back in a moment.